So, welcome back to the second episode of the Dog Days Warrior podcast. This is currently 2nd of August and 6:08 a.m. of the morning, to be precise, when I'm recording this. 6 a.m. you can say. Sorry. So, yeah. First of all, many of you are saying that in the websites where my podcast is available, there I have written that I upload the podcast weekly, but I really have to confront that. No, I cannot upload the episodes weekly because there is a legit reason. See, I'm not a proper podcast guy. I'm a musical person. I do podcast as a side interest because I like talking. I like talking to people of the internet. I like sharing my thoughts and my views on different things and different aspects. So yes, this is why I create this podcast. Also, you can say that I also wanted to improve my you can say internet confidence or something like that. Although I'm not a person who fears camera or opening the audio with people while talking, so it's actually not a thing with me, but just in case. And again, coming back to the question that why I cannot upload the podcasts weekly, because I don't have content. I'm not a famous podcaster or any famous podcaster you hear on the internet who have a lot of people to come on their YouTube channel or their podcast show because they already have a lot of audience, so they will come to that podcast place. But me, I don't have a lot of audience, and I'm just starting this podcast as something which I'm kind of doing it for myself, but you can say that it's actually beneficial for you also, because when people hear new podcast, they kind of understand the thinking of other people, the thoughts they have, and they kind of invent something inside of their own psychology. So that's the case. So talking about now, the podcast won't come weekly. I mean, they can if I have a lot of guests which can come on my show. As I've also said in my previous episode that I will bring guests, but of course, no guest came. So I mean, they were just busy actually in their musical stuff and some music label things. So of course, it was very hard for them also. So I can understand. So that's why I can't upload podcast weekly, because I don't have a lot of guests which could come on my podcast daily, and I have a daily content to provide to you. So so I just do this solo podcast, in this solo podcast, I also, and there's another thing, that I usually record these podcasts very late in the sense of the gap I take while recording this, because see, if I just open my microphone, and also you guys must be thinking that the audio quality is improved. So yes, my DAW worked correctly in my PC, and I'm currently recording this from my microphone. So yes, the audio quality must be better. And yeah, talking about that, another thing is that see, if I open a microphone and sit in front of it and starts to record anything randomly just for the sake of content, then it can't happen with me, because I'm not a person who records something for content. See, the previous episode I recorded was just an introduction and kind of trailer for this whole Dark Days Warrior podcast stuff. So it was necessary, and it can be recorded anywhere, anytime, while sitting with some less thoughts in mind, because it doesn't require a lot of talk. And yeah, but in this case, it was the second episode, and I really wanted to come up with a topic, but again, as always, your weirdo friend doesn't have a topic. So yeah, and yes, I'm actually recording this podcast when I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of overthinking inside of my head. Because recently, you can say recently, I've been going back to my roots, like reliving some things. Like, how should I make you understand that? like it's just an emotion. But if I say it straightforward, then most of the people will be offended because um, okay, see what happened is back in 2020 when I was very active on the secret platform. Those who don't know what secret platform is, it's kind of forum kind of place somewhere on the internet. So back in the days I was very active on the secret platform. I used to do a lot of posts, and of course I was also very stressed and anxious about my exams and stuff, and because of that I couldn't always focus on some particular things because uh, it was really very messy for me to handle all the stress and anxiety of the exams and also the secret platform and the musical stuff which I used to do back in those days. So it was a thing, and to cover it all up, one day I created another Instagram account separate from my Dark Days Warrior Instagram account. I created another account, and I was trying to search something inside of my own self back in those days. I was like a kind of wanderer boy, wanderer boy, or something like a philosopher or explorer who was trying to find something new. So I really wanted to be inside of a community where I can understand the maturity of life and those things, because I was really really very stressed and anxious back then in 2020, in the time of my high school. Of course, high school, you Americans say that, but in India we say it like the school, the public school, and parents usually consider their children by the grading system and not the high school or junior school. Not a lot of parents actually, I mean. So yeah. I mean, I was in 11th standard back then in 2020. It was actually the corona time, and it was also online classes. So you guys can understand, who have been in that phase, that how much stressful and how much anxiety, like how much anxiety people was carrying back then in the corona times. So that's why. So yes, I created another Instagram account to get free from the stress and anxiety pressure I was having, because also it was the month of November, December, and in those days school usually pressures a lot about the practical files and submitting practical files, submitting all the notebooks and the stuff, and etc. And also it was really really hard in the online manner. Now teachers were saying that it was easy, but it was actually kind of hard for me, because I've myself seen that my classmates and my friends from back in those days were getting lazy, also me, and also somewhere our mental health were getting really really affected, because now there are several factors, some personal factors as well. Now how much should I say? So that was the thing. And if I consider, then I actually found a great community back on that Instagram account. It was I won't say it straightforwardly, because I've been in that community, and I know the people of that community are really really very sensitive. So if I say something here on the podcast and any of them might hear, then probably they will just try to get against me or something. So I'll just keep it indirect. So I got in that beautiful community, and I got many friends, but it didn't lasted long. The sadness comes with time, and that was the case with me as well, because what happened is that from you can say December 2020 to March of 2021, I was very active in the community. That community, from which I found on my another Instagram account, it really really helped me uplift my mood, my overall health, my overall mental health, you can say, because that community was all about mental health, illness. I mean, yes, I can. I'm actually trying my best not to say it directly, but I'm a really really very bad spoiler, and I don't know. So Yep, that was the community, and I made some 2 3 really best friends there, 2 or 3 you can say. But so what happened is, in the March of 2021, I got away from the community because I felt really good and well, and so I decided to leave the community, and I did. I focused on my music and etc. Then one day I decided to go back to one of my friends back in there in the community. I gone back to her profile, but her last post was in the March only. No, March. Uh, Yeah, May you can say. May month. Her last post was in May, uh, and I gone there in the July. I see that she hasn't posted anything after that. Actually, that friend which I found in that community who helped me, she used to post every day, almost every day, and she actually used to have a bunch of stories on her Instagram account, which had some really beautiful morals, really beautiful quotes in it, and she was just kind of an inspiration, a part of an inspiration for me, because technically, of course, I have a lot of inspiration. You can say humans, artists, animals also. But yeah, uh, at some point I realized, no, first of all I tried to text her, but I didn't got any reply, so I started to realize that maybe she's on a break or something. But you guys will not believe, since that day, uh, July of 2021 to this day, August of 2023, I haven't got a single reply from that girl. She hasn't deleted her Instagram account. She is there, and I've tried to contact her on her mails and phone number and um, whatever contact medium she was having, but it's not working. I've also seen some of her other friends asking her in the latest post comments that where she is, we're missing her, she is not replying, so what happened. So I kind of got a very negative feeling somewhere inside my heart. So since that day, since July 2021, I haven't been back in the community, in that community. So, but recently I've created another Instagram account once again with 5 followers back in that community, just to relive the magic of those memories. Like, it's a thing. If you meet any older person, I'm so sorry for if the noise is coming from outside. There's some construction work going on. So, so basically, I don't know if you guys have met any older people who have lost someone in 2020 due to coronavirus or something. So, they usually talk a lot about that fact in that time. They used to say that, oh, I have this relative, this, and we lost them in due to coronavirus in this month, this year. But there are also many teenagers I met back in the corona days who have lost a lot of their friends, and they just don't say it. You can consider one of me as well, but my case is that I'm still not confirmed about my friends, that my friends not being available is because of her death or something, but or else it's because of something called as closing Instagram account for some time to focus on personal life or something. I actually wonder that I use words like some things, yeah, and all these things a lot of times. I don't know if it's only me noticing or if it's actually true, but yeah. Also, coming back to this community, I have been reliving that magic and trying to learn to forgive others, because as an 18-year-old who sometimes goes over the top in his anger issues, it's really good for me to learn to forgive and stay calm, because also there have been many good things happening recently and some bad things as well. Like, I canceled my renewal plans for my from my music distributor, and now I shifted to a free music distributor, free music distribution service. I mean, it's some technical music stuff which you guys won't understand, but it's really a very big headache for me because I'm a kind of person who keeps looking at the music distributor's dashboard portal until and unless my song gets that approval from their team side to go on the music stores. I'm a kind of person like I can't really I really can't make music or just think about making music or something until and unless I have that release pending in my artist dashboard cleared or approved by the team for the music stores. I'm that kind of person because because I just can't. I open my DAW and I sit in front of it and try to make music, and I just pauses, and there's a thing in my head that, oh yes, there is that song. There is a song in my distributor's dashboard which is still on pending and it needs approval. And after it will get approved, it will go on the music stores for my listeners and friends to hear. And that thing keeps running in my head, and it doesn't let me create the music. And that is why I consider myself a slow music producer sometimes, but in terms of songwriting and singing, I'm not a slow musical artist. Because if you some of you who have been in my Google Meets or Zoom meetings back in those days, they know that I used to show all the lyrics and stuff I used to have in my phone, in my notes actually. So considering now that I still have a lot of beats and songs pending in the making. They are in the making. I also have one Lost Times collaboration Coast version in the making. I consider myself as a slow music producer, but I learn quickly. But if you consider my songwriting and singing things, then I'm not a slow musical artist at all. You open my notes and you will see tons of lyrics inside of my notes. Like each and every label I've created in those sections is just filled with lyrics, and that is why I actually am still confused, to be honest, because in some days I just go super fast. I literally finishes a track in day 1 or day 3 only. But in some cases, when I'm trying to learn something new, for example, nowadays I'm trying to learn about how to create that what was the genre, dubstep, how to create dubstep. It's a musical genre. I'm trying to learn that, and it actually takes me a lot of time. I'm also learning how to create the future bass, you can say, dubstep, these two genres, and it takes a lot of patience and hard work, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, because it is really, really, really hard. And moreover, I also recently deleted my Zedrizon Records and the Black Wings accounts because I don't know, the same reason, reliving my roots. Because I was planning to upload roast videos on the Black Wings and some music label things on the Zedrizon Records. But later on, I realized that it's actually not going to be beneficial at all. And also, I just can't do it right now because I don't have the resources needed, you can say. And actually, it's not really very easy to manage a music label. A music label is usually a very big company sort of stuff. You have a really great website, a portal, or a good following or something. So currently I'm focusing on my artist profile only. That first, let's create a good artist profile. Then we'll head over to creating more of label stuff in future if it happens. I'm not sure. So yep. And I'm actually currently not recording on my phone right now, so I don't know how much of the recording has been done, but I do believe that it's somewhere long. Although I have been recently trying to discover the genres like musical genres like ambient, new age, and soundtrack. You can say. I mean, most of the people I've met in the music industry just don't consider soundtrack as a genre because they say that soundtrack is usually for movies. So I usually put a question in front of them. So, can you guys create a genre for orchestral EDM or orchestral, like most precisely orchestral, multi-genre EDM? You can say orchestral EDM or symphonic EDM, and they just say that there is EDM for that, there is ambient for that. But I say that it sounds like an soundtrack because of the drums used in there. Then they just again put it on the electronic genre only. It's a nice debate in the music industry actually, because I've seen people who uh, like if I talk about many famous people also, they you have seen like some albums on the Spotify that says from the original motion picture this is soundtrack. Now that's many people would consider as soundtrack. Like if the song is from a Hollywood or Bollywood movie, then it can be considered as a soundtrack. But if it is from something like independently made track, uh, something which you made independently, then people just don't consider it as a soundtrack. They either put it in the new age genre, the ambient genre, and or the overall global favorites electronic genre. So that is the case. I personally faced this problem while sending my song Seasons Change, although my label uploaded it as a soundtrack. But when I was creating the Seasons Change track, I was very very confused because when I finished creating Seasons Change song on my DAW, I realized that it's a multi-genre track. First of all, it have hip hop elements, then it have electronic elements, then it have the orchestral elements, and I was super confused that in what genre should I put Seasons Change in. But thankfully, it was a label release with the Soul Music Global, and those guys uploaded a soundtrack genre. I mean, it actually kind of fitted well though. So yeah. Also, I was also planning to do the reaction videos and the storyline type of videos, as I said in my previous podcast. Sometimes I wonder why I don't complete my promises, which I said in my previous podcast. But yes, I've said that in my previous podcast. And again, I tried to record a reaction video on one of the songs, but the thing is, I don't have a webcam right now. I'm recording. I tried to record this from my laptop's camera, and you guys just can't understand how much it was lagging, how much it was giving me those vibes that no, you can't do this with a laptop. I definitely need a separate webcam for recording reaction videos or any type of video recordings, you know. I mean, of course, nowadays phones are very capable and I can also do that with phone. I also sometimes try to record my own video with my phone, but again, the issues comes, like sometimes you can say the location issues. Like location issue is not a big thing, but you can say the environmental issues like a lot of noise or something. That is why like I'm currently recording this podcast from my mic, so I can it doesn't actually capture a lot of noise because it has this gain knob here. I can actually get into a closed environment and set this gain knob according to how much voice input I want to give inside my DAW. I mean, it's some technical music stuff, but I'm saying it in simple words. So it actually controls the environment of the voice getting transmitted into my DAW as an audio. But if I record that from my phone, a video or a reaction video or something like that, then the audio maybe won't be clear, or there can be some issues or something. Yeah, and that's the main thing. So yes. Also, that is why reaction videos and other roast video, just cancel the roast video actually. I'm not sure about that. I actually wrote the script of one of the roast videos and a stand-up comedy video as well, but I'm really not sure, so don't consider the Black Wings roast for now. Also, talking about some things which are irrelevant to this podcast, for example, book writing. Team DDP. I mean, of course, not to me, but to this podcast, because we don't usually talk about my official things in this podcast. But I thought that maybe I should discuss them a little bit, and probably we will end this podcast soon. I guess it's been a little long, and I'm recording this. So I usually don't keep my podcast very long because I know people will get very weird about the podcast being so much long, and most people just don't like the podcast to be this much long, so that's the case. Also, my first idea was to record this podcast in Hindi, to be honest, because Hindi is a kind of language in which I can say things confidently, and I can make people understand it in a much better way. But I also know English. I'm a kind of good English speaker. I'm not that bad. But of course, I do have some grammatical issues in my English. So that is why I sometimes I also back up while recording some stuff in English due to the same reasons. Although I can make my all the channels and all the stuff in English, but I really don't want to, because as an Indian, I see that my Indian friends from India are like more of good super listeners than those in the other. I'm not actually differentiating or doing any partition in any kind of things, but I'm just trying to explain that whenever I check the analytics of my songs, I usually see that my song which I've released recently, I'm talking about both instrumental and Hindi ones, like Kalpana or The Roller Coaster, The Burden. I like all of those songs are getting streams from foreign country and both Indian country, but there is a thing that somewhere I see that India getting on top. I mean, in my Spotify analytics, usually there are some countries like Germany, USA, India. Yeah, only these three in the top. Other countries just come really lower, because I usually have just like 1 or 2 listeners or listens from there, so that's the case. And also found some really great stuff on the internet recently, which would be helpful in my music things. I will share it in my Team DTP. And yeah, Team DTP, I remember. Team DTP has a project upcoming on the 24th of August, so please, you guys make sure to check it out. Team Dark Dragons production. We are also a kind of remote production team on the Instagram. We take people in our team if you have good skills, if you have good not hobbies now. If you have good skills, then we take people inside of our team who can be beneficial for, like, if you are interested in singing. If in singers, we do have some thresholds though. We are searching for intermediate and professional singers only. Same goes for music producers. We are only searching for intermediate and professional music producers only. But in the case of if you are a graphic designer, video editor, artist, or a learner musical artist as well, then we can take you inside of our Dark Dragons production team as a beginner learner, and probably we will work on some ideas. So yes, and also yes, I was talking about the project. It's coming out on 24th of August in collaboration with someone really special, a really special team from that secret platform. I believe that I have kind of revealed or something, but let's hope that nobody notices. Never mind. I'll just try to cut that part. Yes. Yeah. So a project is. I will only say that a project is coming from Team DDP and another team side. We both are collaborating on the 24th of August. So make sure to keep an eye out on that. And also, I've been trying to write a book recently, book on the. I'm really not interested in revealing anything about that book, like not even the plot, not even the title, but to give a proper overview or like kind of synopsis or something, I'll say that it's a book based in the fictional world of Dark Days. Uh, it will be a story from that universe actually, the universe Parallel 377. So yes, sometimes I think that if World of Dark Days or Parallel 377 got a live action adaptation or an anime adaptation, and then I'm sure it's gonna blow the screens because uh, if as a creator, if I imagine my own storyline, whether it's World of Dark Days or the Parallel 377, whether it's any of the storyline on the big screen, I do believe that it's going to be super magical for me, because seeing those characters which I've created inside my head since my childhood and seeing them on big screen one day in future, whether it's a theater screen, whether it's a live action adaptation or an anime adaptation, I'll be just blown out, because it will be a really very big thing for me to see something which I've created inside of my head in the childhood of my 9th grade coming out on the big screen at a very big level in future. But of course, these are just some thoughts and dreams of mine, so I'm not sure. But yes, if I ever got a chance in the future, where if I got into the film industry and I got some connections and got some producer who would like to work on this idea, then definitely it's going to blow out everything, each and everything, because this storyline has such a potential. That I mean, of course, I'm a creator, so I see the potential inside my story. Because if I'm just like every other creator. If you go someone who just created a story, he will also see potential in the story. I'm just like that. But I do believe somewhere that this franchise of World of Dark Days or Parallel 377 can have a separate fan base if created in a good way on a big screen or on a book also. I mean, of course, I'm working on the book part on all by myself for now, creating a book based on a story from the World of Dark Days. I'm not sure when I will finish it and when it will be available on Amazon and Kindle for you to purchase, but yes, currently it's in the making. I'm definitely sure that writing this book is going to take a long time, a really long time, but yes, it is what it is. And when the book will be done, of course, I will announce it on my Instagram and everywhere, on all my internet platforms, all the social medias, that hey, I have finished this book, it will be available here and there, please go and purchase it. So of course it will be a thing. So currently I guess we should end this podcast now. I really love talking to the people of the internet actually, and after I guess this podcast has been a little long now, like maybe 25 minutes long. I actually didn't keep the timer on this time. Sorry about that. So I'll just end this podcast now. I really love talking to the people of the internet who likes to hear my songs, hear my voice inside my songs, and also hear my voice inside my podcast. And so yes, thank you very much for being on the podcast with me. I really love talking to you. If you are hearing this, please remember that you are amazing and you have come this far on your own, and I'm really proud of you. Keep going and keep shining and keep rising, keep learning something new every day, and take care of your mental health, alright? I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you in the next podcast when it will be available. Till then, see ya someday soon.